where I see them falling down really is on both lines. I think take away the Garrett from that defensive front. I'm not excited by that defensive line and linebacking core. And on the offensive line point of view, that's one of the weaker offensive lines in the NFL, and it's there where the great teams like New England and so always do well. Same with the Steelers as well. That consistency comes from having good defensive and offensive lines, and I don't see that in Cleveland. And I think they'll do a lot of splash plays and big wins here and there, but I think consistency-wise, I think they'll struggle, and that's a horror show of games coming up there, Jay.
Did we do injuries on this one?
Not yet, but there is good news for the Cleveland Browns. Aaron Donald is limited in practice with a back injury.
He went out of the game last week, didn't he? So halfway through, he went off for treatment.
Yes, he did. Tight end Tyler Higbee also shows up on the injury report with a chest injury. Malcolm Brown, backup running back, has an ankle injury. He's a limited participant. And center Austin Blythe sustained a lower ankle injury in the win against the Saints, so he is questionable for Sunday as well. For the Browns, Morgan Burnett and Demarius Randall, two safeties, are listed as questionable. One is in concussion protocol. The other has quadriceps injury. David Njoku, concussion, is listed in
he's got a wrist.
Well, he's also got a wrist injury, so he's out. Wide receiver Rashad Higgins is questionable with a knee injury. And let's see, Chris Smith, defensive end, did not participate in practice due to personal reasons. Tackle Chris Hubbard is also in the injury report, along with guard Joe Bitonio.
Oh, dear.
So, Neil, to compound your line questions on both sides of the ball there, yeah, they've got some problems as well, because another defensive lineman shows up with an undisclosed injury, and he didn't practice so far this week. So the Browns, what I will say is that they, to some extent, Jay, they probably were a little bit overhyped with all the individual talent that Neil mentioned. But at the same time, they'll see them on the field these last 2 weeks. They don't look like they're actually prepared to play football in either of these games. I mean, the Titans came out and basically popped them in the mouth and never let up after they got the running game going. And last week, they couldn't make these simple in-game adjustments to Greg Williams' blitz. I mean, let's be real. And I'm not in any way trashing Greg Williams, but the book is out on him. You know what you're going to get when you face one of his defenses. You're going to get blitzes from, quote, exotic angles, which means safeties and corners off the edge and linebackers up the middle in some combination. These are simple schemes that almost everyone has seen. There's no variation. He's not doing anything brand new. There are 11 players on the field. If you identify which extra players are coming, you should be able to throw to the vacated area of the defense, because his defenses have a lot of holes in them when they blitz. And for the Browns to not take advantage of that Monday night is, I don't know what's going on with Freddie Kitchens' offense. That's a simple in-game adjustment. It's one thing to see it on film. It's another thing to see it live. But when it's the same thing over and over again over the course of the game and you can't make the adjustment, something's wrong there.
Well, I would say a lot of the talk around Freddie Kitchens was he was in over his head as the head coach. And so that might be exactly what this is all coming down. Yeah. We'll see. There's still plenty more games this season. I think the Browns will still be okay, but I just mentioned that list of games that they've gotten.
Brutal.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't have that list of games. I mean, the Patriots have a cake freaking schedule.
Do you think?
Yeah, every single year for the last 20 years.
Do you think Kitchens is the problem?
I don't think he's necessarily the problem. I just think that he's in a position where he can't best succeed. If he was still just the offensive coordinator, I think he'd be just fine. But he's not just the offensive coordinator. He's also the head coach, and he's got other responsibilities that takes away his focus.
It does remind me a little bit. The Cleveland start to the season reminds me of the old Mike Tyson saying, "Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face."
Yep.
Yeah. I'm surprised you weren't able to come up with a Billy Ocean quote. Come on, Neil. I expect better out of you.
I think from Baker Mayfield, really, you want to see him sort of just, he's got that license to chill. So that's Billy Ocean.
And we're done. We're done. No more games. Let's go.
Monday Night Football.
No, there is no Monday Night Football. Let's go.
It's the Chicago Bears at the Washington Redskins.
Neil
Bears are 11th in the power rankings. The Redskins remain at 29. Bears favored by 5 in this one. NFL Nugget. I know you love these, Neil. The NFL 100 Nugget. On December 8th, 1940, 10 Bear players scored a touchdown as Chicago defeated Washington 73-0 for the NFL title. Neil was live in the stadium when that happened. It was fantastic.
I bet you Red Zone had covered that one extensively.
Yeah, I bet they did. The Bears D is doing their part, allowing only 12 points per game. They need Mitch Trubisky to wake up, and maybe he can this week. He is 4-0 in his past 4 road starts with an 85-plus rating in 3 of his past 5 on the road. So far this season, though, 42 of 72, only 348 passing yards, 1 interception, a 65 rating. That is not getting the job done. Hopefully, he's going to change things. I believe so. James believes so. Kevin believes so. But Neil has faith in his Washington Redskins.
Yeah, I think, first of all, to go back to that fabulous game of 73-0, I have to say, being there, it was 10 lucky drives.
Lucky drives, huh, Neil?
Other than those 10 lucky drives, we were all over them. Some
of those players are on defense, right?
Yeah, they're still there. So half of them are still there. Half of them are still on injured reserve. However, in this game, Jay, I can see, and I was saying to Kevin earlier, it's one of those things. Washington probably, in my view, played 2 of the best teams, if not the 2 best teams in the NFC in their first 2 games against Philadelphia and Dallas. I
don't know about that.
Well, they're up there, James. Certainly from where I'm looking. They're way above it. But so I think here we're coming across an offense that's been, as you've just pointed out, Jay, with those excellent stats, we're coming up against an offense in Chicago that's not very good. We know this. So let's stop the run. Let's make Trubisky beat us and see if he can do that. I think that'll be the game plan. Offensively, our offense has played much better than anybody imagined. And our defense has played much worse than anybody imagined. So maybe this is maybe balancing out how I think Washington fans think we are terrible just now, and maybe we're not quite as terrible as we think we are. We're not a great team. We're not even a good team, but maybe we're not quite as bad as we've looked in the first 2 weeks. And this will be a chance to show that. If we lose heavily to the Bears, our season is done. And I would just point out that I did make a point last week and the previous week that early season in the NFL. Get all the crap teams out of the way with their mandated prime time games. Get that out early, and then we can have the good teams. Now you can see another example of it. We've got Tennessee against Jacksonville earlier tonight, in fact, and on Monday night we've got Washington. So there you go. Getting rid of all these rubbishy teams first.
Monday night games are pre-scheduled. Like, they can't change those games whatsoever. They're going to put the crappy teams on Monday night every single year.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I know. That's what they do, yeah.
Yeah, but they can't change it. Like the Sunday night games, they can flex out the crappy teams.
They can flex those games out, yes.
Yeah.
But
Thursday night games, I don't even. Can we get rid of Thursday night games already?
Isn't there
we need to get rid of Thursday night games?
Isn't there an agreement with the teams that everybody gets so many, or at least one primetime game at some point during the season?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think,
and that's why they're Thursday night games, but every team doesn't need to be shown in prime time.
Yeah, well, I think
you get shown in your local market at 1 or 4, whatever your local time is, every single week, and just shut up and deal with it because your team sucks. If they get good enough to get on Sunday night or get a pre-scheduled Monday night game, then cool. But everybody doesn't need a primetime game, which is why Thursday night football needs to go away, minus Thanksgiving.
You just reminded me that there's a team that's going to have a primetime game at some point, and I'm wondering when it's going to be.
Well, while you're looking that up, I'll go over the injury report here.
Oh, that'd be great.
Bears.
I could go through one of Billy Ocean's latest albums.
No. For the Chicago Bears, Bilal Nichols, defensive tackle, is expected to land on injury reserve because he has a wrist injury. For Washington, Neil, guess which offensive player is still on the injury report?
All of them. Jordan Reed must be there.
Yes, Jordan Reed, still here. Doesn't list what his injury is, but he's questionable. Jonathan Allen also questionable, along with cornerbacks Quentin Dunbar, Fabian Moreau, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie placed on injured reserve, and linebacker, Neil, is this right? His first name is Casanova?
Correct. Casanova McKenzie.
Yeah, he had an MRI on his hip on Wednesday, so he's questionable for Sunday as well.
Well, if you were called Casanova, you'd probably have groin and hip injuries, would you?
Oh, my God. And there we go, Neil.
So the Miami Dolphins have only one 4 o'clock game, November 10th. And their
night game.
And their Monday night football game on ESPN is October 28th at the Steelers. Talk about a ratings drain on ESPN that night. Whoa, they're really bringing the heat.
Oh, my. Are you serious?
It's too bad it's not October 31st.
One-night game?
That's a Monday night game.
How many games do the Dolphins have to lose to be eligible for a college bowl game?
Great question. Great question. If you've got the answer to that question, send it in nextfanup@gmail.com, at NFU Podcast on Twitter, Facebook.com/NFU Podcast. Great ways to get in touch with us. We want you to be part of the show. We've got our Superfan battles, the games of the week, coming to you tomorrow. That will definitely feature the Ravens and the Chiefs game. So you're going to want to tune in to get the in-depth analysis on that particular one. We have Saturday morning fantasy football coming to you. When will that be? Oh yeah, Saturday morning. Although, yeah, it's still Saturday morning in England when, well, at least in the UK. You're not in England, Neil. Sorry.
I do have an answer. I do have an answer to our earlier question, though.
Oh, yeah? What is that?
That was the earlier question about the 1998 season where was it 8 teams started 3-0?
Okay.
And the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl in 1998, and they did indeed go 3-0 and ended up 14-2 that year.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. The Patriots are going to start off 3-0, and they're going to go 19-0, which will be great.
Shut up. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Must be worried about KC, no?
Neil, you guys. If you guys don't beat the Bears, I don't know what you're going to do because Trubisky, like you said earlier, he looks horrible right now.
Jeez.
Right. This is like your best chance to get a win right now.
As Neil loses all hope and James has, a modicum amount of hope, and I have way too much hope, I leave you with Andy Dalton, another team that has no hope. There you have it.
I never even heard his interview, so I don't know the context in which it was said. I don't know what he said before. I don't know what he said after. So I still haven't seen it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care, But, I've got no ill will towards Jay. There's no feud between me and Jay. I think we lost the game. He said what he said, and, we're moving on. That's in the past now.